Yumi would not wash him, she said. Hana told him that Yumi did not wash him. Did you wash him then? Sadao asked, not stopping for a moment his swift, concise movements. Now his focus was totally upon his work, and he was making all preparations for the surgery of that American man. So his movements were swift, quick, and brief. Concise means brief, incisive movements, which he was trained for. Yes, she said. So he was talking with Hannah in short sentences. He did not seem to hear her, but she was used to his absorption when he was at work. So she knew that whenever he used to be, absorbed in his work, he used to uh, direct all his focus on the work at hand. She wondered for a moment if it mattered to him what was the body upon which he worked so long, as it was for the work he did so excellently. She knew that Sadao was a great surgeon. He was a very skilled doctor, surgeon, and now he was totally engrossed in the work. That is, he was making all the preparations for the surgery, and he was going to operate that man to save his life. But Hana was thinking whether Sadao was, even giving any thought to whose body he was working on, whose body he was going to operate. So Hana was just thinking whether Sadao was, for Sadao, it really mattered that whom he was operating on. You will have to give the anesthetic if he needs it, he said. He told Hana to give the man anesthetic. Anesthetic is a kind of substance or drug which is used to induce insensitivity to pain, because he was going to operate on him. So kind of painkiller was required, a substance that is called anesthetic was required to induce insensitivity to pain. Though he was already not in his senses, but if required, he wanted Hana to give the anesthetic to him. I, she repeated blankly. But never have I. She was not a doctor. She had never given anesthetic to anyone. So she got little frightened up. It is easy enough, he said impatiently, because he wanted a helping hand. So he became little impatient, and he said, it is easy, don't worry. He was taking out the packing now, that bandage kind of thing which with the help of moss he had put. He was taking it out from the wound, and the blood began to flow more quickly. He peered into the wound. He looked into the wound with the bright surgeon's light fastened on his forehead. This kind of, which you can see in the picture, this kind of light. It was fastened on his forehead. So he looked into the wound. The bullet is still there, he said. He found that the bullet was still in his body. He said with cool interest, now I wonder how deep this rock wound is. If it is not too deep, it may be that I can get the bullet. But the bleeding is not superficial. He has lost much blood. Now he was actually talking to himself only. He was thinking aloud. He was trying to measure how deep the wound Rock had made in his body, and how deep the bullet had got into, and how the bleeding was uh, you know occurring. So he could make out that bleeding was not superficial. That means it was not just external, it was internal. He had lost much blood, which was not a good sign.